And with that, I believe we are ready to, well, not exactly stay a while and listen, that's a different game, but, well, this is Undefined Behavior, so who knows what characters will show up. It is time for Ultima 6, The False Prophet.
All right, I'm CloudyShoe. It's Ultima 6 any percent. And I've got Squibbits with me here on commentary.
Hello.
So we're gonna get started here. Make a file. And then time starts when I select a text speed, which is now. Which one is the fastest speed? So this is telling the backstory of how we got here, but this is a speed run. So the first thing we're going to do is equip a spell book and cast a spell that teleports us right to where we already were. And right now I'm going to hand it over to Squibs because I've got some menuing to do.
All right. So yeah, the next 2 minutes of this run is menuing, all for a special glitch at the beginning of this. So this is a really interesting glitch. So what we're doing here is gathering enough items from these chests, and very specific items too, that thankfully happen to be in those 2 chests at the start of the game, to enter a glitched portion of our menus. To do so, we're going to give some extra items from one of our characters here. We're going to transmute these items into other items. So basically right now, Claudia's moving all of the items into the bag. You need 17 of them in your secondary bag in your inventory. When you do this, you can then enter the secondary port. You can actually go down to the bottom and press X, and it enters a glitched portion of the bag. So what Claudia's going to be doing here is a lot of menuing, going into the bag portion, putting on helmets. They're wearing helmets. They've already worn like 4 or 5 now by the time I'm saying this. They're going to end up wearing like 30-something helmets at the end of this. But every time, each of these helmets represents the normal inventory space of your character. So like where your bag and your helmets are sitting, every time we enter that, the glitched space represents that. But instead of showing those items, you're seeing item numbers that correspond to the amount of the items from the floor. And so what we do is we go down here and we can manipulate the helmets by putting them on, which directly reduces the item number in the secondary bag. So you're affecting items in the main bag, which is reducing the item number in the main bag. And there's a table of 0 to 255 items. And by reducing those numbers, we can transmute items from one type of item to another. And so basically, the point of this glitch is for the run is to gather all the items we need. So we're gathering invisibility rings, we're transmuting the gargoyle lens, which I'll talk about in a second. We're transmuting a glass sword, which is needed, and the gargish text, which is needed to talk to the gargoyles. And we're also transmuting balloons. So that's basically what you see happening here, is going into it, wearing the helmets, going out, coming back in. There's a couple other things that happen so fast at the beginning when I'm just starting the glitch, which is explaining that you also need 8 moonstones and the vortex cube to beat the game, which is the first things you transmute. You turn torches into moonstones and then also into the vortex cube. So those get passed to other characters. We're handing stuff because everything weighs a lot, so you're just giving a bunch of items to other characters so they don't have to actually, the main character doesn't get overweighted. But you need the glass sword to create the human lens, and we can create a broken gargish lens, but we can't create the fixed one. That actually needs to be activated by a quest in the game. Balloons are super heavy, but we need exactly 4 of them to beat the game. There's also a way to create spells, but no one knows how to actually make the spells be the spell you need it to be, because the spell is an item it needs to be a quantity stack of scrolls to do so, and there's not enough scrolls in the game to get the spells we need. So, and they're also one of the highest item levels, so you can't transmute down into them very easily. So we will be buying a spell, one spell that's needed to beat the game. So Cloudy just equipped invisibility rings on everybody. We have 140 something, and is now going to go buy the dispel field. So now that you're out of glitch, Cloudy, do you want to say anything?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You just interject whenever you want. Otherwise, I will just continue to talk for you.
Yeah, I had to improvise a little bit there.
Yeah, this is when you're doing this glitch, it's very nervous because if you do it wrong, the run's over. It's very, very difficult to correct for that glitch. So here we bought the dispel field. It's the one spell we need. They're gonna learn the spell and then use the moon orb. So the moon orb is an item that lets us warp to a lot of places. I think it's 24 locations, and you get this right at the beginning of the game. There's a couple of areas you can't get to with it. You only need the balloon for one of those. But the balloon is just generally faster to travel. So we use it in 4 places to quickly get places. So we're going to talk to Valkadesh here, who's a gargoyle who we can't talk to until we've read the Gargish text, which we got in the glitch. And Valkadesh here will allow us to submit to the Gargoyle King, which we need to do to be able to craft the broken lens into a fixed gargoyle lens. Because the lens crafter won't talk to us unless you talk to his master, who's Nax, and Nax won't talk to you unless you've surrendered to this character, and this character won't talk to you unless you talk to Valkadesh. This is like really the only real quest chain that you need to complete if you've done the glitch in the game. So why are we getting 2 lenses? So one of the things in the game is that you need to get 2 lenses to read the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. The Codex of Ultimate Wisdom can only be read with 2 lenses, a human lens and a gargoyle lens. And it also requires the Vortex Cube with the 8 moonstones, which normally you would get in the game by going to each of the shrines and cleansing them. And that's a huge process. It's the big major quest chain. So here, we've surrendered, we talked to Nax, then we talked to the lens crafter who was able to create the Gargish lens from the broken lens. So now we're going to take the Gargish lens and show it to the human lens crafter, who will then create the human version for us. After we've done this, the next couple steps is to go into each of the 3 gargoyle shrines, which is the shrines of diligence, control, and passion. Each of them has the spirit of a boss from Ultima 1, 2, and 3 in it. We talk to those characters. We have the invisibility rings specifically to get through that spot and a couple of the gargoyle areas, before you've surrendered, they will attack you. So the big goal here is to go into each of these things, talk to each of those, and that'll give us basically a password. It is actually a password to get into the final room of the game. You can't enter it at all. There's no known glitch to get in there without the password. On the PC, you can just type it in. So if you know the word, you can just type the text, but that's not true on the SNES version. Okay, gargoyles, please be kind. This part is always stressy. Like, it looked like they were alright. Alright. I know I'm about 10 seconds behind, I think. So yeah, that's the major glitch from that's what effectively makes this run super fast. Being able to do that at the beginning and do a lot of inventory and item manipulation basically gives you everything you need to beat the game. It's interesting because if you played this game normally, like, it would take tens of hours to beat it. Is Ultima 6 on the console the most glitchy Ultima run? That is a very good question, and I'm not 100% certain. I would say Ultima 8 I would say is the most glitchy Ultima run. Like, it is really glitchy. But Ultima 6 has this fantastic item glitch. It's much glitchier than the PC version.
I'm going to stop for a sec here. Just a warning, there's going to be a lot of flashing throughout the rest of the run.
That is a very good call. Yes. This next section is extremely flashy.
What is causing the flashing effects?
So the character, anytime you take a step while poisoned, oh no.
Where did I safety save? Oh no.
Looking good. It's not too far back. So the one of the reason that you're seeing flashing there is every time you take a step while poisoned, the screen will flash to say you're poisoned. Every time you step on lava, the screen will flash to say you're stepping on lava. Every time you step in fire, the screen will flash to say you're on fire. If you're doing all of these at once with all 4 characters, the screen will flash for every character while poisoned, while in fire, and on lava repeatedly. So that's why it splashes so bad. Wow, those volcanoes are not being kind to you.
No.
I would not worry though, anyone. We're past the dangerous part of the run. At this point, like, CloudyShoe could just cast help to go back to the king and then come back to this area and be completely fine. There would be no loss because we're past any of the parts that actually require a glitch or require timing. There's a day-night cycle, and so to get to the human lens crafter, you want to do that at a very specific time to save a ton of time. Otherwise, you need to wait like minutes. Oh, that was really odd. I had it freeze up there for a second. All right. So yes. I lost what I was saying because it worried me that it froze. All right, so we're getting flashing again. And the flashing is, like I said, due to the status effects on the characters, and it will last the rest of the run, except for the rest of the run should be very quick. It's this shrine, and then talking to what I call the metal Dorito. It's just a shrine that you need to talk to that will get you the password to enter the last room. And the shrine, actually, this is where we need the spell. So we need Dispel field to disable the sleep spell field here, and then the lightning field, which we can't walk through because it's block error. And then we don't bother with the fire field because, interestingly enough, floor status tiles in the game cannot kill you. So walking through fire can never kill you, it can only reduce your health to 1. Same with poison. Will never kill you, only reduce your health to 1. So here's the final room. CloudyShoe is going to set up the lenses, then use the vortex cube, and save the day by banishing a book, apparently.
Yep. So we'll got the end scene coming up, where Lord British and I believe the Gargoyle King show up, and they're both not too happy. But we've got our lenses, so we hand those over and say, hey, look at this book. And they do, and it's a rainbow book. And it like literally says that they should get along. And they do. And that's the end. So, a little shaky a couple parts, but we got there. So we do have a glitch exhibition coming up. But we're going to need a minute to set up here.
Don't you worry, CloudyShoe. I have you covered. Give it up for CloudyShoe and Squibbins for that amazing run. But we are not done with the world of Ultima 6 just yet. In the meantime, once the exhibition will be going through World Final Fantasy IV NES. Apparently, I missed that part in the first place. But we have a number of characters to name. We still do not have names for Tella, Pora, Edge, or Fusoya. If you wish to get those characters named however you want, please donate. Again, !donate will teach you how to donate for the great cause that is the Trevor Project. Regarding the existing names, right now Cecil may be named Ruby with $10 to their name. Kane, RM-RF/ do not actually run that command, folks. That is currently in the lead with $10. Rydia could be named Cat for $105 right now, or Dijon with $20. Edward, 8 spaces for 8, but Quadword is right now in the lead with 20. Rosa, Sapphire is in the lead with $10, while Ruby is only at 4. Yang currently has Bean as the name for $5. We did get a donation for Palom to be named Porum for $20, which is now ahead of Late Bulb for $10. And Sid is expected to be named Pseudo for $20. Again, if you folks want different names to be placed on these characters, you will need to donate, and we do not have a lot of time before the game starts. Also, a minor correction. I had mixed up Palom and Porum, just like, I guess, a number of other folks do. Porum is now scheduled to be named Palom for $20. Palom currently only has Late Bulb as a name for $10. Again, I apologize for that. Can we please have a shout out to the tech crew that has helped us set up all of the layouts and the music that's playing during the intermission screens? We've had some great tunes in between the games here. and I believe we are ready for glitches in Ultima 6.
All right. So, we already covered the biggest glitch in the run, the item manipulation glitch, but there's a couple more that we can take a look at here. So I'm just gonna use this moon orb here, and if I remember where I'm going, yep, I'm gonna go into town here, and we're gonna get a whole lot of money really fast. What? I never remember the way from this. Here we go. So there's a couple NPCs that have shops right next to each other, and actually I need to go to the other one first. And there's a slow way to make money and a fast way. So the slow way is that one of them sells containers of oil for 5 gold, and the other one buys them for 7. But if you get enough of the oil from one vendor and sell it to the other, you can get a whole lot more money.
A whole lot more money might be an understatement. So, you would think that you're only making a profit of 2 per sell.
Oh.
But you'd be wrong. 7 minus 5 is 2, right? And you sell 100, it should be 200 profit. Well, there's an interesting thing that happens when you sell more than 127 of these.
Yeah, so if you have just 128, you get a lot more money.
It's certainly more than 2. 64,640.
People familiar with powers of 2 will recognize the significance of those 2 numbers. Likely. So we're going to use some of that money to buy some explosive barrels. And unfortunately, our friends might have some problems with what we're going to do with these barrels. Let's see. I need to get out of the way. Apparently, if I actually ran the NMG category of this game, I would be a lot better at this, because this is actually a strat where you kill your friends with explosive barrels. But we only need one of them to be able to show off this glitch, so should just be another moment. No! Okay. Here. I'm just gonna place them right next to me. Promise this all went better in practice. Okay. So, at least one of your friends is a ghost tornado, Then if you go inside a building and you get another one of your friends to help you out. So in this case, there is a mouse named Sherry that is in the Ultima series. And if you give them cheese at the beginning of this game, they'll join your party. And you can use them like an item and they'll run around and they'll resurrect any of your friends that have died. And they can pick up items for you in certain areas, but unfortunately they will not steal things for you.
And the resurrection, by the way, is not intended. That is absolutely a glitch. It is really OP. Only available on the SNES version, because Sherry is not an item in the PC version.
So we're going to reset here, and so that I have a known item configuration, because we're going to show off some of the other effects that the item glitch can have. The first thing I'm going to do, because it's very important in this game, and you do not hear it in the normal run, is I'm going to take this loot and put it in the bag here. And then I'm going to drop a couple helmets. And that's going to turn that loot into a boat. And if you're familiar with Ultima 6, you understand why the boat is important. Because it has the best song in the game. So enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm about to mess it up. So if you move things around in the glitch inventory, it messes with a whole lot of things. And if I do this very particular one, so the music is going to get a lot different. And if you're wearing headphones, you might want to turn it down a bit, because I promise this is one of the better ones I could find, but it'll be slightly screechier than normal. And we're walking on water too.
This is absolutely amazing. So yeah, we haven't found a way to create unassigned item numbers. Well, you can create items with 0 stack value. That is something we've discovered. But you can actually overflow into other portions of the memory and do weird stuff like this. You can also just straight up kill all your party members and really do some strange stuff.
Oh, good. We got actually, there's like random songs that'll play, and you can't really choose which one. But this is, I think, the one that works the best. Get a nice little jam here. Some of the other ones are just kind of screechy, so... So we won't go for those ones, but that's what I've got. Thanks for having me, and good luck to all the runners throughout the rest of the event.
Once again, give it up for CloudyShoe and Squibbins for Ultima 6, The False Prophet, both the NA% and the Glitch exhibition.